Hello everyone, my name is Simon. I'm with Exotic Serpents on Instagram. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. As you can tell, I love snakes. I have my Instagram page. I just got the snake tattoo, yesterday, and I'm loving it. Now, a lot of people in the world, they're afraid of snakes, and I think they get a bad rap. They're mentioned in the Bible to be cursed over all other animals on this planet. On top of that, some snakes are venomous, some snakes aren't, and it's hard to tell the difference between the two. So I understand why people are afraid of them, but I think they make great pets. And if you've never thought about owning, a snake as a pet before, or you're thinking about it, but you're kind of on the fence, I'm definitely making this video for you. So today I'm going to start off with the cons of owning a ball python. The first con is they're a huge commitment to make. So if you think about how long a dog or a cat lives, they can live 10 to 20 years depending on what you have, right? A snake, they'll easily go 20 to 30 years. I'm 21 right now. My snake is, gonna be with me when I'm 51, hopefully, right? So, that's something you definitely have to keep in mind. A lot of people who have ball pythons, have more than one. And if you're not prepared to take care of them for that amount of time, it may be difficult to rehome all of those, if you ever have to. Alright, so con number 2 today is going to be their husbandry. It's just something you have to get right. It's only fair to the animal. With ball pythons, I feel like the hardest thing to really, keep track of is their humidity levels. They're a lot simpler to keep than other reptiles, but it's definitely, different than like a cat or a dog. For a ball python, you need electrical heating. You gotta hook up a hotspot to one of their hides. You have to have another hide, for them to bask in on the cold side, and you have to have a water bowl big enough for them to soak in. So you have to keep all of this, these things in mind when you go into it. You have to be prepared to get the right levels, because dealing with stuck shed with snakes, yeah, you can deal with it, but it's not fun. It's time consuming. It's better to just avoid that completely. The third con is going to be that a ball python, or a snake, they're not going to love you the same way another pet can. They don't really show affection. They have no way of doing so. I like to think of my relationship with my snake. We have a good relationship. I don't think she loves me, but she definitely tolerates me. Snakes, they kind of want to just eat. After they eat, they want to hide and just chill, So if you interact with them here and there, that's perfect. That's a perfect amount to interact with them. And I like it. I like the relationship I have with my snake, but I do definitely recognize that there's no affection. She doesn't love me. I don't think she knows who I am or that I feed her necessarily, but I feel like she recognizes me, and that's really cool. Alright, so the fourth con is going to be, that they're carnivores. They eat mice, rats, and rodents. So, if you're not comfortable with that idea, a ball python isn't for you. You can either feed them frozen, pre-killed. Some people feed live. There are pros and cons to both of those, and that's a personal decision. But that is something you definitely have to keep in mind, knowing what they're going to eat, and potentially being okay with having a freezer full of rats. Fifth con today is going to be that ball pythons are known to be picky eaters. It can definitely be worrisome to see, your snake skip a meal, skip 2 meals. It's really not fun. And then when you have to transition, snakes from mice to rat, that can be difficult as well. So that's definitely a con. Dogs and cats will eat anything, but ball pythons can definitely be a little bit more picky. Alright, so the sixth con today is going to be that ball pythons, they're known to be escape artists. They can definitely, they find ways to leave their enclosure, and once they're lost, to find them, it's very difficult. So when you own snakes, that's just like the one thing you can't do. You have to make sure that every single time you handle the snake and you put it back, you're checking out the lids and you're not leaving anything open, because if you live with other people, you live in an apartment building, whatever the case may be, someone finds your snake, that's not going to be the best situation, alright? So, it's very important. Number 7, a lot of different ball pythons have different personalities. Some are shy, some are more defensive than other snakes. Some are more picky eaters than others. But this is, with snakes and with any other animals. And, if it's possible, it's always good to handle the snake before you're going to purchase it to kind of know what it's going to be like and what to expect. If that's not a possibility, you could always, ask a lot of questions to whoever you're buying it from. And, they should be able to help you out with its temperament. Right, so number 8, if you're ever stuck in a situation where your ball python needs a vet, that is not a good situation to be in, because depending on where you live, finding a vet that works with exotic animals like snakes can be very difficult. So if you are planning on getting a snake, definitely look around. See if there's any exotic vets near you, because you never know when you may need it. All right, so number 9, if you're handling a snake that is very young or hasn't been handled a wild snake, there's a very good chance that it may musk on you. The chances of a dog or a cat peeing on you, not that high. A snake, if it's young, I'm not gonna say it happens often, but it's happened to me, and that definitely wasn't fun. When they pee, they have something called a urate, so it's liquid plus something else. It was really disgusting. Don't want anyone to go through it, but it definitely may if you decide to own a snake. All right, so the last con for today, number 10. A lot of people are afraid of snakes. So if your neighbor sees you walking in your house with a brand new snake you bought, that might not get the best reaction, to it. Especially if you live in a building with other people, some landlords, if they know you have a snake, they'll definitely maybe not be uncomfortable with that. So yeah, it's something you definitely got to know. A lot of people are afraid of them. I think they're just misunderstood creatures, but it is what it is. And, we could just continue to educate to let more people know that they're really not that bad. I'll begin going over the pros of owning a ball python. The first pro is how beautiful of a species, they are. There's over 3,000, morphs of ball pythons. All of them come with different colors, different patterns, and you'll definitely find your favorites. There are colors for everyone, there are patterns for everyone. You'll definitely find something that you like. This is my snake. She's pastel VPI xanthic. She's gonna go shed soon, and she just ate today, so I can't handle her. I really don't want to disturb her. But yeah, here she is. I mean, she is definitely, without a doubt, one of the most beautiful animals I've ever seen. I love the black and the whites. The xanthic removes all of the pigments from the snake, and I can't wait for her to grow up and be bigger and see how she matures. All right, so pro number 2 is going to be the fact that I don't ever have to walk my snake. In this enclosure she has, 30-gallon tank, there's enough space for her to do everything she needs. She's going to, do all of her natural stuff, let go of her needs here. She's going to exercise here. You can tell if a snake is overweight or if they're skinny. You just kind of have to know what you're looking for. And you feed them once a week. So if your snake is overweight, you're going to want to stretch it out maybe 8 days, 10 days. But there's no walks. Pro number 3 is going to be that they're the best pet rock you could ever get. They're way more beautiful than any rock you're going to see, at least in my opinion. And they don't really do much. I mean, she's been in this water bowl the whole day. She's about to go in the shed. But yeah, they just like to hide out. They just like to rest. They're very docile. She's never tried biting me. She doesn't really do much, but I still love her. And that's definitely a pro. So the 4th pro is going to be that they're relatively cheap. When you compare the price of some of these gorgeous snakes to purebred dogs, there can be a very big difference in what you spend. Not to mention the vet bills. You have a dog or a cat, you got to take them to the vet, vaccinations, checkups, preventative medicine. You buy a snake, and then the only expense you really have to worry about is their enclosures and their food. When you compare the cost of food of, a dog or a cat versus a snake, I feed her once a week. You're going to be feeding mice or rats. They're going to be max $5. They're going to be around $5 a week. When you compare that to how much a dog eats, and all of this food I have right here for my dog, it is definitely a big difference. The 5th pro today is going to be that snakes don't require a lot of space. When you think about certain dog breeds that do need a lot of space, to roam, exercise. All my snake needs is this aquarium. You know, if she was full grown, I would like her in a bigger aquarium, but she's not full grown. This is enough space for her now. Aquariums and snake racks. You know, snake racks are a great, efficient way to keep snakes. You know, they put them in really big tubs and stuff like that. So that's the 5th pro. They don't require a lot of space. All right, so pro number 6 is gonna be that ball pythons don't get too big. Depending on whether you get a male or a female, they can get between 4 to 6 feet. Even if they do max out at that 6 feet, you know, my girl would still be big enough to where I could handle her by myself with no issues. So that's definitely, you know, the biggest pro about ball pythons. They get big enough to where they look impressive, but not so big where you can't handle them by yourself. The 7th pro today is gonna be that she makes no noise. So you're never gonna get any noise complaints. You're never gonna be annoyed. She's just here, and I love it. So the 8th pro today is gonna be that they're a great conversation piece. Not a lot of people have them. One of my favorite things is bringing people inside here and showing them my snake, letting them handle her, and you know, just helping mold their thoughts about it, because a lot of people are afraid of them, and once they start handling them, seeing that they don't really do much, you start seeing that kind of go away. It's very satisfying. Pro number 9 is going to be that snakes are very low maintenance pets. They don't need any type of training, and they're great for busy people. You know, when it comes to taking care of a dog, you know, I have to feed my dog twice a day, walk her twice a day. My snake, I only feed her once a week. I like to spray her enclosure every day to make sure her humidity levels are where they're supposed to be. But the amount of maintenance is definitely, you know, in terms of time and money, there's a huge difference between them. You know, they're great for busy people, and you can leave her alone for a couple of days and not even worry about it because she won't notice you're gone. So pro number 10 is going to be that they don't have any hair and they don't cause allergies. You know, allergies are caused by dander. They don't have that. You know, I haven't met anyone who's ever been allergic to snakes. So it's definitely a pro. There is no allergies. There's no hair everywhere. I mean, they do shed, but it's not going to be stuck on your couch. If you made it this far, I really do appreciate you for watching this video. Definitely make sure to give me a follow on Instagram, Exotic Serpents. And yeah, that'll conclude the video for today. We went over the 10 pros and cons of owning a ball python. If you have any questions, any concerns, definitely reach out in the comments, DMs, anywhere, and you know, I'll get back to you.